Hello, and welcome to Satisfactory, and welcome to my Reusable Blueprint series, where we are going to be creating blueprints that we do not ever stop using. You can download the blueprints for yourself in the description down below, but honestly, don't do that, because there's going to be countless times where you can actually customize these blueprints, and I will let you know when you can do that. So the first blueprint that we're going to be covering is this one. It has 6 constructors for you. However, this design can actually be expanded and you can fit 24 constructors inside a single Mk.1 blueprint. You'll find out how to do that when we're actually making the blueprint. But let's do that. So the first thing we need is actually a constructor. Now each constructor takes this entire block over here. It does extend a little bit further, but basically you can have 4 constructors side by side in an Mk.1 blueprint. However, we are going to be using 3 because we're using this area for the inputs and outputs. So what we're going to do is we're going to just move it all the way back over here. And here's how you know you went back enough. If you can fit a lift back here, it's good. But if you cannot fit a lift back here, then, you need more space. So after placing this one constructor, what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 more right next to it. You can hold down the control button when placing these constructors and they will snap into place, like this. So when you're holding control, it turns on the snap mode. Now the snap mode is important because you want to snap it to a constructor, lock the hologram by pressing H, and then what we're going to be doing is we are going to be pushing this blueprint inside of this constructor. Now we can't actually place it until we vertically nudge it up. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I am going to be completely ignoring this clipping. It's valid, okay? It's fine. Now, for the next constructor, you will find out that we can't actually do this. Because, you see, they're uneven. However, if you hold control and the constructor appears over here, and then you lock the hologram, you can then nudge it back into place. Just like that. So to recap, we don't snap it over here, instead we snap it over here, lock it, and then nudge it into place. Perfect. Now if for some ungodly reason you want more than 6 constructors in your blueprint and you want 12 of them, I will not stop you from placing the hologram, locking it, nudging it up, and back into place. Just like that. And you can also fit another row up there. So you've placed your constructors and now you are worried about the inputs and outputs. Well, you don't really need to worry. Because thanks to Satisfactory 1.1, we have something called vertical splitters and mergers. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. Now we just select the lift, put it all the way up here, and we make sure that it's facing the constructor itself. And then you need to do the same thing over here and make sure that all the lifts are of the same height as well. At the bottom, if you look at the cost, you see it goes up as the lift height increases. That's a nice way to tell if your lifts are the same height or not. So in this case, they're all 12. However, keep in mind that there are 2 levels for each cost. So the cost for this is 12 and the cost for this is also 12. Interesting. Now, on the output side of the constructors, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be placing these mergers. So we're going to be placing 1, 2, and 3. On the input sides, we're going to be placing splitters. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now, these center ones are going to be responsible for collecting and distributing the resources. So over here, we're going to be placing a merger, but before you place it, make sure you rotate it so that the output is towards the constructor itself. Similarly, place a splitter over here, but make sure you rotate it so the input, this orange one, is towards the constructor. Next, you take your belt and we're going to be linking everything together. So the left rows and the right rows connect with the center one. And the same will happen over here with the outputs as well. Now you do have a couple of options. You could place lifts over here. That would be 1 lift and that would be lift number 2. And from here, what you could do is you could connect it like this. And you could place another lift that goes directly in the inputs as well. And that way you have your inputs and your output for all 6 of these constructors. If you're interested in what we did over here though, then you don't really need these lifts right here. Instead, what you need to do is you need to just place these conveyor lifts on this side By the way, when you press R, you can change if the lift goes in or out. So the left side over here needs to go out, while the right side over here needs to go in. So I press R and change it. And then you can just link these together like this. Now there is a step that you need to do, which is that you need to come over here, click on this constructor, move your cursor over here, and then click again, and that will connect these two together. And you need to do this with all of these machines. Usually you can just get away with double tapping, so it doesn't really take that much time. As you can see, I'm doing it rather quickly. Now for power, however, we are going to do something fun, which is that we are going to hide power poles as much as possible. Well, whenever we can hide them. So we're going to nudge them inside these constructors and make sure that they connect with all of the machines. And whenever there's only one connection left on a power pole, we will attach another one instead. So now all 6 of these constructors are connected, and we can actually set up our real power poles, which are going to be one over here, another one on this side, and that should be it. If you want, you could also set up power poles back here, just in case. However, you might notice that we have space over here, and that space can be used for, say, another 6. And if you remember from the start of this video, I said you can keep going up. So that space can also be used for another 6. So that would be 12 constructors over here and 12 constructors over here. However, I believe that's a little bit overkill, because at, say, 24 constructors, your limiting factor is the speed of your belts. Interesting, why are these Mk.5 and these Mk.4? These should be Mk.5 as well. By the way, if you want the materials to be facing towards you, you need to start the lift at the top and then work your way down. Say you want your output over here for the lift. Then you need to basically nudge it up so that the base is where you want your input at, so this place. And then you start bringing it down. And then when you face it towards yourself, the materials will be facing outwards towards you, as opposed to something like this. So yeah, you can control which way the materials actually show up. Before we actually move on to the next part of the video, I have a request. You see, around 90% of my viewers, actually more than 90%, are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're still watching, hit that subscribe button. It would help a lot. Now, to wrap things up, we need to actually test our blueprint. So here's our 6 constructors blueprint. We are going to feed in limestone over here in the input. And for the output, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sync it. So the output goes over here. Let's power everything up. This power pole over here needs to connect as well. And now we just need to assign the recipe. Can you make some concrete for me, please? And then you can Control C on one of them. And then all you need to do is just look at them and paste. And that's it. Now we're gonna start having some concrete over here, but we need to check if this is actually working properly. For that, we can come over here. So each constructor over here needs 45 per minute. That's 45 times 6. So this entire blueprint uses 270 limestone. That's what I'm gonna do over here and set this to 270 so that I can place these conveyor throughput monitors over here. And this will let us measure how much stuff is going in and coming out. This is going to even out at 90 once this runs for a minute, because while we are splitting stuff very nicely, it is still a manifold. So these top assemblers are going to fill up before these bottom ones do. But that's fine, it's only 6 assemblers, so it'll take maybe a minute or 2 maximum. Okay, so that's our 6 constructors over here working at full efficiency. Wait a second, where did this throughput monitor go? There we go. Okay, so 270, right? Yeah, perfect. Hello, Mr. Photobomber. What are you doing over here, sir? Would you like some tea? So next up, we are going to be working on an assembler blueprint. Smash that subscribe button, it helps a lot, and I will see you guys next time.